So if I record this, hopefully it's gonna work.
Okay, for everyone else who is listening, bear with us literally for 1 more minute. We're just getting a couple of things set up behind the scenes, and then we're going to be good to go. Probably literally 1 or 2 minutes left.
All right, take your time. It's always take some time to warm up the spaces. A little feather. What is up, brother? I think you need a co-host. Can I invite him? Let's see. Invite to speak. Okay. Should I announce on the channel that the Spaces is live?
I announced on the main Moonly account that it's already live, but feel free to announce it in there. I'm ready to go now. I just wanted to see if I could get this pin set up in the spaces, and I actually managed to get it to work, so I'm quite happy with that.
All right.
But I am now. I'm good to go now.
All right. Let me see. Corsica, is he coming? Let me see.
Guys, if you're on your mobiles, can you give me a quick thumbs up to let me know if you can hear me all right, if my sounds are good? Quick thumbs up.
Yeah, for me it's good. I hear you well.
Good, good, good.
Okay, I'll need also thumbs you up. What
Good,
about
good,
you,
good.
Željko? Do you hear us well, Željko? Oprem vam ga.
Might not be on mobile, it might be on the desktop.
All right, okay.
Okay, I'm just inviting Little Feather up here to co-host, and then we can get started.
All right, I'm excited as well as a little feather for sure. So let's go.
Yeah.
So there is not many people at this point listening, but I believe they're joining later on. But also, since the people didn't know too much in advance for the spaces, we're gonna record this, so we're gonna act like there's many people that gonna listen this right now and after. So yeah, let's go.
Yep, I agree. Okay.
Welcome,
So,
Tamara.
what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Spaces.
Hello, hello.
We're just gonna do it. Hey, Little Feather, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, brother. I'm good. I just finished with my work and fed my dog, and now I can dedicate myself to the Twitter space.
Nice, nice. We're just going to
Awesome.
have a little chat to discuss a few things, so especially the recent deployment of SAS, the human verification bot system, and a few other bits and pieces. Let's go it on. So, guys in the audience, if you've got any questions, feel free to come up and request. And I know that some people are quite shy, as we've seen in the past. If you don't want to come up and speak, just put it in the Spaces chat, and we'll answer any questions that we can. And as you might have already seen, my guests aren't really guests, are they? So we've got the founder and one of the head mods of Moonly. And yeah, introduce yourselves, guys.
All right. My name is Kinder, as you can see. My real name is Stefan, founder of Moonly, and I'm here to share our current state of the Moonly and what is going on for the future of the Moonly.
Nice, nice. And Little Feather?
Hello, guys. My name is Little Feather. As you all know, I'm virtual assistant of Moonly Project, and I'm here to support.
All right.
Excellent,
Thanks for the
excellent.
support.
You're
And if you
welcome,
guys,
brother.
And if you guys don't know, I'm Kai. I am actually in the Twitter Spaces as well on my main account. So feel free to give us all a follow if you're so inclined to do so. We'd really appreciate it. And if you're not following Moonly, again, I don't know what you're doing here. You should be following Moonly at Moonly NFT. Go and check out the website at moon.ly and join our Discord. You'll probably really enjoy it. Okay. Anything you guys have got to add? Anything you guys want to say before we get started?
Well, Kai, I noticed that your name changed from Kai the King to Kai of Senjo. Is that how you pronounce it? What's the story about the kind?
I actually have an entire backstory that I'm going to be releasing in the next week or so. So I actually have a whole lore around it. I created a full social media profile for it. So I'll keep you guys I'll keep you guys updated.
Nice.
I don't do things by halves.
Okay,
All
okay.
right.
Don't rush it. When you're ready.
All right, guys. So let's get into talking about the recent deployment of staking as a service. So let's talk a little bit about what the staking as a service means for Moonly. So Kinder, do you want to have a little bit of a chat about that?
All right. So for Moonly means that more projects will actually start using our tools because the staking as a service is a kind of no-code tool that will help a lot of projects that are not very technical, that doesn't have too much budget to work on, to actually set up the staking in literally minutes if they have their tokenomics ready. So it will basically be a value for value. They're going to use our service. In order to use our service, they will need to swipe some Moonlys out there to clean the floor, the stake it. Once they stake it, they'll lock it out there, and the staking admin page will open for those projects, so they can create their own staking, so they can create a token if they don't have a token already. So basically, it's gonna be kind of one more addition to the package of tools that we already have and that we are kind of currently building, and that are more likely focused on projects and the communities. I'm just gonna mute the little feather. You can mute yourself if you're not speaking, so we don't have background noises out there. Just a second. Or you can do it, Kai, by the way. You can mute, I think, little feather for now.
Yep, give me 1 second.
All right. So what we currently released is kind of, we can call it the V1 version of staking, and this is something originally we started building staking for ourselves, for our own project, but along the line we figure out, like, why not build service that everyone can use, because I think it's needed in the space. At that point, to be honest, I didn't do any research if there's something like that exists. Later on, when we got the first client, they showed me there's some similar tool, but I also got some feedback from people using that they had some kind of issue, which is normal. I mean, every product have the issues. But I'm glad actually that we built this. This is going to bring a lot of opportunity for the Moonly and for other projects in the future. What's going to mean also for the Moonly, it's more exposure to our ecosystem and to our project and to our community, because if the project use our staking service or staking tool, let's call it as a tool, basically that means that they will need to send their holders, their community, to our website to join, to register there, and in order to stake, right? So that means we are getting exposure from other communities. That means potential new holders that will convert, and new community members. So it's basically win-win situation with our SaaS or staking as a service.
I just noticed I actually can't mute co-host, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I can't mute co-hosts. But I really do like the direction of the staking as a service. It's just a little bit. I suppose the question is, now I'm thinking about it, what are you doing different to your competition? What makes Moonly staking service superior to its competition that's currently out there?
To be honest, I didn't check too much competition. I just saw they have actually very basic staking out there. I don't know what is the admin settings for one of those. There is a When I say competition, I do mean in the real sense competition, like no code staking tool. There's many staking services, but in order to set up, you need actually the projects who are using the service, they need to set up that for them, and it's not kind of self-using service. So when you say competition, I think in the real sense competition, where basically it's a no code thing taking as a service. So I don't know exactly, to be honest, what other tool is offering, but I think that we have probably more kind of flexibility in the multipliers, and that is what something I got from the one of the potential clients that we were talking about, and that is kind of multiplier, token multiplier, where you can give more rewards based on, sorry, not token multiplier, but actually reward multiplier, where you can actually give a more reward based in two cases. One case is based on the trade. So if the collection have some special trade or some rare trades, and that you want a reward holder uh, based on that, um, you can actually set up, all right, this alien body, for example, will get 300% more, or 3 times more actually token than the regular one. There's also another multiplier based on the time staked. So the longer you stake, you can actually set up the longer you holder stake to give him a more reward. And that is just some basic one. I'm not sure, very honestly, I'm not sure about other project, because most how I actually operate, I like to do research, but sometimes when I have, actually most of the time when I have a vision for something, I don't want to be influenced by other ideas or other projects, because you cannot get maybe out that idea out of the mind later on, and you don't want to be a copycat or something like that. So this is purely, the whole staking service actually was purely based by need, and that's how I actually built other tools and projects in the past, even before Moonly. Everything happened, per need to solve some problems. So that's actually how staking as a service actually was born.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting to the point of I'm leaning towards the fact that you don't really have any actual tangible direct competition because you're a no-code setup for staking as a service, which means it's basically plug and play. You can basically use it as soon as you need it. As long as you hold the requisite number of NFTs, it's basically available to you as soon as you want to use it.
Yeah, so there's actually, uh, I'm not sure two or one. I know there's a one, call it Cardinal. It's open source project, but I got, for example, feedback from one of our top holder, that they basically complaining about that service, and he also said that he will try to work with some project to move on the Moonly, because of the experience they got out there. Another project is kind of also pretty new, and I was in the call with Little Feather when I discovered this. So we were together in a call. We were just something typing in the Google, just trying to think about potential exposure on the search engines. And when we were typing, we actually found another project. They're just offering kind of what I saw, very simple service. The UI is also very simple. What is actually the kind of advantage of Moonly, and what will be the advantage of Moonly, that people who will use our staking service, they will not get only the staking service, they will also get other tools for their communities. So basically, you're gonna be very competitive in that manner, that let's say your new project, you already minted, or just about to mint, maybe yesterday or something like that, or tomorrow, and you need the different tools, right? You need the holder verification tool, you need the sales bot. Yes, there's a Matrica about this, everyone knows, it's a great tool, but we also, since we already built this, we're going to talk about these details. later on. But since we build this, we're going to basically provide a combination of the tools that projects need to use it. So they don't need to use 5 different tools and pay for each of them. We're going to offer this into very competitive pricing, multiple tools in one package, not just for community, let's say admins and the founders, but also for their holders. Since we're going to provide the trader tools like alerts and notification, reminders, statistics, alphas, and other stuff that we are building for holders and that we already build, portfolio tracking, live feed and stuff for their holders. So it's going to be, I think, very competitive. Even if there is a similar tool, let's say there is exactly the same tool. Let's say I don't know if there is as a staking as a service. Even if that's the case, we're going to be very competitive what we're going to offer out there with other tools.
And these tools are currently locked behind ownership of a Moonly or Moonlies and staking them. That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, if you mean how to get access to those tools, right?
Yeah, how you access them is currently only accessible by having Moonlies in your staking system, essentially.
Yeah, so basically, if the project founder or community want to get access to your tools, I kind of thought about some. I think it's kind of unique system. I don't know if it exists. Again, this is something that it came to my mind naturally. Again, all right, we didn't want to charge, concretely into Solana or something like that, or USDT, or maybe through the NFT. So we kind of had idea. All right, let's price our service, the whole package, at $720, and let's then convert those $720 at the current Solana price. So I don't know, maybe that's the 20 Solana this price. I am not sure, but anyway, then those 20 SOL should be used to sweep the floor of the Moonly as much as you can, and that's basically is opening when you actually sweep those NFTs with $720 worth of Solana. You go and sweep the Moonly NFTs floor. You basically come to our Moonly staking page. You stake those NFTs. Once you stake with your Update Authority wallet of the project, because that basically proves that you're the owner of that project. Like if you hold the Update Authority wallet, then the staking page will be open for you, and other tools will be accessible for you. So that is actually the flow that we thought how it should work.
Yeah, it's driving value. Yeah, it's just driving value to holders. That's just what I wanted to say. Carry on, please.
Yes, and I think this way you're basically not, taking SOL or USDT that is non-refundable to the projects in case they change their mind, in case that there's something they don't like, let's say. There's all kind of situation that can happen. You give them ability, all right, we're gonna buy Moonly NFTs, and buying those NFTs, especially early in this stage, and I say early, is a kind of where we're releasing these services and these tools for a project. It's have a very big potential to actually those NFTs that you buy actually increase in the value over the time, and we kind of just lock down those NFTs and hold for you, basically locking down. And in case that 2 months later or whatever, even 3 weeks later, you decide that you maybe don't want to have a staking or whatever, any tools of that, you can, unstake it, you can sell it, and you have your money back out there. So it is very little risk actually to use our service out there.
Yeah, low risk, highly flexible. Yeah, very nice.
I think that's kind of competitive when you ask it, what is kind of competitive advantage over the other project in the staking. And let's assume they have actually the same tool, which I don't think they have, but let's say we have actually much more to offer out there.
Very nice. Little Feather, have you got anything to add about the staking as a service?
Well, when Stefan is talking that I don't have nothing to add. He said it very well, but I can add just that Moonly is a platform when you can do so many stuff. So where we are where we are providing staking as a service to other projects, we are selling it as a package. So as Stefan said, we're not just selling the staking as a service. You're getting so many other stuff: Discord and Twitter promotion, Twitter Spaces guest, Discord holder verification bot.
Oh yeah.
Soon after that, we will have a raffle, sniper, royalty detection tool, and few more stuff. So as you guys said once, you love Moonly because you have everything on the same place. You don't have to open 10 more tabs to see other info or other stats. You have everything on the same place, and that is our biggest benefit.
Yeah, you're right. I forgot to mention that in the package. Thanks for reminding me that, Little Feather. Basically, when you're a new upcoming project, depending on the type of hype you create out there, everyone seek for more attention, for more exposure, right? And you gain exposure actually by getting exposed into other Discord or communities or Twitter on their Twitter. So that's also is one of the benefits actually for the upcoming projects out there to use the Moonly tools and package, because Moonly first, as everyone know, serve as a database of upcoming projects. So a lot of people come there from the Google, from or very directly because they are aware of the Moonly already, to search for new projects. A lot of people like Kai, journalists, content creators are using Moonly actually for their own research out there, and that mean that someone else can actually discover their project. So by default, we are actually listing those projects for free out there, and if they use our service, there's a potential that they can get featured, which means they can be on every page of upcoming or minted page of the Moonly. And like to Little Feather mentioned as well, those projects will definitely, since they're gonna kind of be our partners, we're gonna promote them into Discord, into our Twitter. They can be our Twitter guests. We're kind of gonna ask some nice and some tricky questions. So yeah, I think that's a very additional to kind of addition actually
Yeah, the good
into
little
that
benefits.
package. Yeah.
Good little benefits to add. And just speaking of partnerships, you've recently already had your first partnership with Kai Miner. How is that going?
Yeah, like basically we were launching this just because of them. I mean, in that moment, because it's always that you think, all right, let's give us a week so we can test it out more, test it out more. You're always not always fully ready, right? But sometimes you actually need to put yourself into fire and do a risk and say, all right, we are ready. Let's do it. Let's see what's going to happen, because now it's not that we are just testing something, with our own stuff, but actually now our other communities depending on our service, which can be either a great voice or bad voice if something goes wrong, right? I mean, even the best companies, we see this all the time, are, their products are not working the best. Even we had a couple spaces ago, the Twitter, Elon actually rugged us when we had planned that Twitter, right? It didn't work for a few weeks on Android device. I mean, Twitter, multi-billion-dollar company, right? And so on. So that's very the natural, let's say, thing in the internet, into development.
So when's Moonly going to replace Spaces then? When are we
Never.
going to take over Twitter Spaces?
You mean to build our own kind of clubhouse?
Yeah, exactly. When are we doing that?
Who knows where we go? I mean, I know you're joking, but who knows? I mean, I have a lot of ideas actually that will complement the Twitter Spaces, and this is already in the process. We did some research, but it's kind of not right now. It's a process of building, since we expanded a team recently with 2 new developers. One of those guys actually his task is actually to create that Twitter Spaces giveaway tool that basically gonna help projects to promote Twitter Spaces to bring more people. Imagine now that we offer some very pricey reward to be in our Twitter Spaces. Well, definitely we'll have at least double more people out there, right? Because they will have some more reason actually to join our Twitter Spaces, and basically they will be able even to hear maybe something new, and maybe I'm not sure what is all our capabilities. I think we can also give it, for example, for people who are speakers. We can also give kind of more additional points to those so they can actually have more chance of winning. So basically stimulate people more to talk in the Twitter Spaces, not just to be there as a ghost. So yeah, a lot of stuff, to be honest, happening. So sometimes to be honest, I thought that yesterday was a Moonly birthday. How I thought it's a month May. So as you can see with multitasking, sometimes you go crazy and you lost yourself.
It's not a problem. I know you're multitasking quite a bit and you're quite busy. But that does segue very nicely into the last question I want to ask about this. So we already know that it's going quite well with the staking as a service. We've already got a partner, but what do you guys see for the future? What's your long-term vision of the staking as a service? What is exactly going to happen in the future? What do you see?
Oh yeah, I totally went a little bit off of your question about our first customer or client or partner. It's actually Kaimana, guys. Solid small project. They had some issues. They had actually a couple of issues, and one of the issues was actually the Metaplex doing some. They had some issue with minting out there, and you can imagine Metaplex is actually the core of Solana NFTs, Candy Machine. Even the Magic Kingdom was built on the Metaplex and all those stuff. So, but I like this project not just because they're partner, they're using our services, because it's a very straightforward. Kai also did research. We had spaces with them. It's a very kind of DAO oriented project. So I'm excited. I never actually participated in any real DAO with voting. And just before the spaces, I actually claim it from the Moonly from the Moonly staking page, but actually for Kaimana. I claimed my reward. It was 100 and something Kai that I'm gonna use in the voting into real DAO, sense of DAO, decentralized autonomous organization. So I'm gonna use this, and I'm excited about this project. So it's a nice kind of small, cute project. I wish this guy had more exposure, so they can actually have more minting funds and resource to actually execute their ideas. But we'll see. From those struggles, I think if they make it, they're gonna be really good project out there over the time. And your question was, what is the next plan with the staking? Actually, as I mentioned, this was a very kind of, very first version. We had a very first version of staking as a service back in February, when actually they planned to mint originally. But since we was iterating all the time, improving this and that and this and that, and all the time small improvements and small issues are you become aware of this, and that we were kind of tackled down. The idea was, I remember when we were talking with Kaimana back in the February with Nick, should we kind of release the basic version? We call this, we want the basic version staking, or should we actually wait and release the new version that I realized later on? Okay, this is what doesn't exist definitely in the system, in the Solana NFT ecosystem. I don't know further. So the plan for the staking is that we upgrade to the new smart contract, to the new features that basically we kind of call it the missions staking, mission-based staking. So there's a mission-based staking. You could see this kind of, I think, in the Famous Fox Federation, something like that. But this is something even more advanced, where basically first, as a project founder, you could create your own missions. So that can basically bring multiple projects together to collaborate and stimulate their communities to stake into the mission in order to get some rewards. So, for example, imagine that you partner with, I don't know, OK Bears, let's say, OK Bears, for example, and you say, all right, guys, do you want to do this collaborative staking where the requirements is to hold, I don't know, one Moonly NFT and two OK Bears, for example. So basically, in order to participate that mission, you will need to have these two different NFTs from two different collections. And as a reward, you will basically get two tokens, for example, or maybe two tokens and some soul. And additional on top of that, to stimulate more people actually to be into the staking, or actually in that mission, because that mission might have a limited number of spots that people can join. So basically, it will kind of create some rush effect. So the people need to join way faster. And another thing is, imagine that inside of the mission, let's say that mission will be there for 2 weeks, for example. It will last for 2 weeks. So basically, basically the lock period of NFTs that will be locked will be 2 weeks. So you will not be able to withdraw it for 2 weeks because you went to the Mars, for example, or to Saturn, right? That's kind of, imagine that's the mission. You're in the rocket ship and you fly to the Saturn. You need to do something with your fellows, OK Bears, out there to dig something, and you will return in 2 weeks. And imagine that on that mission, while people are actually staking, there is another layer of reward that can be actually be a giveaway inside of it. So everyone who is participating on the mission will get a rewards from both of those collections through the token, or maybe Solana, whatever they decide to give, the Bong, Sol, whatever the value they have, either is it a native token or not, plus a giveaway that can be also in the sense of the price can be kind of NFT, Sol, again, some additional token. So I think that's something, and that's also very excite me, especially that I'm not sure actually if we're going to do this from the start, but I'm thinking that actually everyone could create the mission, not just the project's founder. Imagine, for example, Kai, you or Mr. Pig Brain. He's listening right now. Hi, brother. By the way, thanks for joining. Imagine, for example, he have some ideas. He's in the both communities. He like both projects. He creates the staking mission with requirements he wants. So he doesn't even need to be the project founder. Something like on the famous Fox Federation, for example, anyone can create the raffles, right? Not just the project founders. So imagine that kind of mission, staking mission, where everyone can create the staking mission and provide the reward. It maybe also have kind of some very small fee like we have currently on the staking. It's a 0.005 Sol. It's a very tiny fee, but imagine that part of that fee goes to the mission creator, the one who created mission. So maybe he can actually create some economy out there. So that is just idea right now for that everyone can create the mission. I'll basically need to brainstorm about this to see if there's some real benefits in the economy for that. But I think that this can be something very uniquely onto the market that can bring a lot for everyone, not just for Moonly, but for every project in using this service.
So what you're saying is there's a lot coming for staking in the future. This is just iteration number one, essentially.
Yes. Yeah. Sorry if I talked too long.
No.
Thank you for not interrupting me. But in order to explain this stuff, I actually need to express. Unfortunately, Twitter Spaces is not a share screen stuff. So if I will share screen, I will be able to share screen maybe what I can do is actually screenshot some part and post it in out there, but that might be something that someone else can very easily visualize and copy, so maybe it's not that smart. But I have actually wireframes done how the UI should look, and it's much easier to congest, actually to consume, to in order to understand where we're going with this. I'll see if I can and if I should do this right as we speak. But
no
yeah,
worries.
basically, this is a V1 version, and I'm excited really for the mission. Meanwhile, all right, maybe that's your another question. I don't know what you plan, if you actually aware of that, but we're kind of working on raffle system. So the raffle system, there's a different raffles out there, like famous Fox Federation, even the Stone Ape crew released their own. But this kind of raffle system will be more flexible in terms, especially for the people who will use our service. Why? Because I noticed that there's some project that they want to have staking, but they don't want to have a token because they don't want to mess with tokenomics. And we are also one of those projects. That's why we kind of created that way, that we have an option. Now, I'm not sure if I mentioned that before in while I was talking about staking as a service, but you don't need actually to provide a token as a reward. Maybe you just want to lock those NFTs, so the holders can lock those NFTs, so you can basically give them some access to some website, maybe some content gated. There's some content that is gated out there. Maybe you want to lock it, so maybe you want to give access only to people who actually have staked it. There is no reward, token reward. The only way is actually basically, I mean, that is kind of, if you think, that is one of the real utilities of NFT. I mean, any NFT, right? It can act as a ticket, as a card, in order to access some locked down content, website, features, whatever it is, right?
It's a very
So,
very underutilized utility as well. I'll just add that, very underutilized. People don't tend to use it. I don't know why.
well, I think a lot of people do not understand actually how to use it, because a lot of things are in the same circle jerk. Everything is the same. Tokens, art, la la la, and all this. I mean, the real project who have the real thing to provide, they might just need some kind of spark of idea that this is possible. Maybe there's no tool actually. Maybe they're not technical. Maybe they're kind of good content writers or creators, but they're not technical, so they don't know how to create that. Maybe it's too expensive. So I think when we actually enhance all of this stuff and create, plug and play tools for that, will be much easier. Right now, for example, there's a project from one of our holders. I'm not sure if I should name him. I don't know, but anyway, he planning to use this is gonna be probably our second partner out there. So he's already have, I don't know, 25 or 50 Moonlies out there staked, so he have access to the staking. So just a couple of days ago, we built an API especially for him, and that's basically going to be used for any other project as well. We build the API where he can access and get the list. Okay, give me the list of all wallets who stake it, because he want to do something. He want to know, okay, who staked these entities? John, Michael, Pera, Mika, Jika. And all right, let's give something to those guys. Let's give to those guys who stake it out there something. So this is basically that what I was talking about for gated content. Imagine that you can plug and play. There's I'm not sure, guys, how much you're aware, but WordPress. If anyone know what is a WordPress, the biggest, I think the 50% of the websites on the internet are built with WordPress. Kind of no code. What?
80%.
Yeah, something like that. Like I know I wanted to say 80, but I want to kind of be on the safe side, because I read that it's a 70% or 80. But anyway, imagine giving that way to imagine creating a plugin where you don't need to do any coding. You just install the plugin, boom, 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 you click it in the minutes, and you set up gated content for your website, for example. And Solana is a very great blockchain for that, because everyone knows it's a low fees, fast transaction comparing to Ethereum, right? So that's basically could be a really good promotion, another promotion layer for Solana ecosystem and NFT as well. So, but imagine the Shopify. I guess for the Shopify, it's a best no-code e-commerce store out there, so everyone can build. Everything is out there ready, plugins, templates, all this stuff. So maybe you want to have some digital content out there, or even the physical, but a digital content out there that you want to gate it for only for the holders. So using this kind of, I think we're going in very good direction. Staking, can be like real proof. Okay, not just that you hold, but another way layer will be, okay, now stake it. Not just hold it, now stake it. Okay, you stake it. All right, we know that you stake it through our API, through our plugin. You get access to this. So maybe you stake 3 of them or 5, you get more access to this. So that kind of flexible system that we're gonna build in future, that's gonna be some real good game changer for content creators, for whole ecosystem. Actually, I wanted to say something else, to be honest, but I forgot what it was. Yeah, so I was talking about the raffles. So basically, yeah, as I mentioned, there is a multiple raffle system out there. But this raffle will be kind of more flexible in the sense that it's gonna be tied to our staking, because some project, as I mentioned, will not have the token. So it means that since it's not gonna have a token, well, all of these stake raffles systems right now. Let's say Famous Fox Federation, and I'm not sure what's the name of the Sony Dave Crew stake raffle system, but whatever, they require you to chip in with Solana or with a native token, right? But what if the project doesn't have a token and don't want to mess with tokenomics? Well, this is what we kind of creating. We're creating a very flexible, dynamic system where you can build a raffle and to tie to per your needs. So let's say that you have a staking as a project, but you don't have a token as a reward. It's just a locking down, but you still want to reward your holders. How are you going to reward? Well, you're going to say, this is basically what we did in our first staking raffle. If you remember, guys, we basically did this is what we did manually. We got a list of all tokens, we raffled to them, and then we see who is the owner of that token, and then we give the prize to that owner, to that wallet, basically. And that's the kind of system which we're going to build to be very flexible and automated out there. So that is also what I'm excited. I mean, step by step, we're gonna expand Moonly tools and basically founder tools a lot. It's gonna be super useful, especially when we reach, let's say, couple months from now. It's gonna be very, very, very useful.
Yeah.
So that is what I'm excited right now about raffle. After the raffle, we're gonna move to the V2 or mission-based no-code staking as a service. So when we mix all of this, it's gonna be awesome. Especially when we onboard some very solid project. Sooner or later, we're gonna onboard some very solid project that have a 5,000 supply, sold instantly, and that have very active community. That's gonna be a huge boost for Moonly. So right now we are still doing a slow, because since we released this very kind of raw with the Kaimana guys, there's a lot of stuff to do to package all of these tools that we are talking about to create a very seamless user experience on the website itself, and to package all, to lock down the features. It will, I mean, we're working on this, but we just need to put all these dots together. So when we have this all together, especially when we release the Sniper and other tools for holders, not just for communities, it's going to create even more value.
Yeah, I agree. Again, there's going to be so many tools coming out, especially packaged together with Moonly, and it's all going to be no code, which is kind of the big message. It's going to be fairly easy for people to use and pick up, which is a really big thing in today's environment. People don't want to learn to code. It's very difficult to learn to code and sit there and go through loads of lines of code or hire a coder because it's going to be too expensive. It's just easier for people to sit there and essentially be like, oh, okay, all I need to do if I want to get this done. If I want to get staking as a service for my project, or if I want to get a raffle system set up for my project, I'll just buy a couple of Moonlies, stake those, and then get access to the tools. Much easier. It's frictionless, I suppose you could say. It's just ease of use is what you're going for. Ease of use is what you're going for. But speaking of tools, other tools that are coming up, and tools that are currently being essentially utilized in Discord. Let's talk a little bit about the human verification bot. So we've noticed that it is up and running.
verification. Yeah,
that's the
I just want
holder verification.
Yeah, but it's also human. Yeah, we don't verify the bots. I think you said human verification.
I did. I think I did.
Okay.
I just want two different pages.
Yeah. I just want to add something up to the previous. Remind me about HVB after that. No code is a very big movement. Something similar like you see guys right now with AI, especially what the Chat GPT actually did. Before it was kind of GPT-3 and all this stuff. I was using this years ago. When I say years, I think I used GPT-3 2 years ago. Right now, you see massive movement with Chat GPT because they simplified communication with the AI in the very simple manner. It's just chat. You just write there and ask and say whatever it is, you're gonna get some response out there. So the no-code movement is actually way before the AI was even popular out there. So, and the no-code movement is a very big thing, and I recognize this because we built. I might talk about this at the end of the spaces, but I know that the no-code movement is a very big thing because myself, I'm not a coder. I do not write the code. Even I do understand a lot about the coding, how it actually works. I do research for my team because I want to save time for them. Some people are good researchers, some people are good designers, some people are good developers. They're writing a code and all this stuff. So I try to use to make the most of my team actually out there on the Moonly team, and I do a lot of research. When I have idea, for example, for a feature, for a new feature, I do actually research how actually to build this, and I just give them basically on the plate. Okay, go there, use this and this and that, and write it in the best way you can write. I mean, that's their job, right? The developer to write, to translate that idea into the code. So actually, in our case over here, in other companies, maybe they're actually the developer actually doing research. Of course, I do not do 100% of all the research. Of course, the guys doing their own research, they have their own struggles out there. But on the high level of view, I do a lot of research. I do understand how the development work. I do write a lot of these logics, not just I'm not talking about, when I say design logic, I'm not talking about the UI only, what you see, but the underlying logic, how this works, if this, then that, then this and that. So I know actually that having before, for example, let's say 7 years ago or 5 years ago, or even 10 or 15 years ago, when I was starting in my internet journey, I always had ideas. The only problem was lack of resources or not knowing to code. So you need to create a balance. You either, there is a successful people, I saw that, but still it's a very simple, you cannot be everything, right? It's a basically yin yang. It's here or there. So basically, if you're a very good marketer, you're not going to be a very good developer because you just don't have maybe time to spend to learn to be the best or to be very good in both of skills, because development is a very huge area, and also the growth and marketing can be a very huge thing. So that was what I was always missing, tools. So I had the idea to build something. I need automation. All right, I need the bot. All right, I need to hire a new guy or something like that, or either need to learn. I don't have time to learn because I want this right now to start, because every idea have kind of expiry date. So I want to use it right now. And that's why the no-code movement is a very important. And I think there's a lot of people with so many good ideas and execution. The only things actually they are blocking them is actually the technology and the tools because they don't know to code. I mean, I think everyone should learn basic coding, including me. And I mean, my daughter Mila, basically, we will teach her basic coding at a very young age because that she will carry this for her life. When you know the programming, how it actually work, you're gonna know a lot of other things to do. So, and yeah, when I want to just add one more thing. When you say a lot, not a lot of people know to code, remember the presentation I shared you about that project? And I did a lot of research where I think I found that 0.001 people or something like that, 0.00 something
Yeah, it's
people on
quite
the
a low
planet
number
know
of
to
people.
code. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
only
quite a low number of people.
yeah.
There's a
So
very low number of people that know how to do front end, an even lower number that know how to do back end, and then an even lower number than that know how to do full stack. So yeah, quite a low number.
yeah, I want to remind people if someone want to join or say something or ask, feel free, guys. Otherwise, um, I can respond. Well, you were asking something about holder verification bot. So what
Yeah,
was about again?
we were going to go into the holder verification bot and just got a couple of quick questions about that. And I noticed because we all know that it's up and running now. So if you're in a Discord, you would notice that the holder verification bot is up. It's the one that gives you those little roles like the shark and the whale and the kraken. What drove you guys to make your own system instead of using a system that's already in existence like Matrica?
That's a really great question, and I'm gonna try to share this vision. And basically, that's about the whole Moonly vision. So there's a various tools on the Moonly currently, and it's also require you to register, with the wallet and even the Discord in order to use some of those tools. At some point, since we were building a portfolio tracker, where we kind of analyzing all of these transactions happening on Solana blockchain in NFT ecosystem, I figured out, all right, this is a very simple tool actually to build. I mean, when I say very simple, comparing to what we built before, and even before Moonly, a very complex project, this is, we have all the pieces. We just need to glue together all this stuff. So this is one of the reasons. Second reason is because since the Moonly, let's say comparing to Matrica, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Matrica, I call it Matrica, but anyway, you know what I mean. Since the Matrica kind of only provide that kind of thing, and they're good at what they're doing. We use Matrica as well on the Moonly. But of course, we're gonna definitely fully get rid and move to our holder verification about our own, which we are currently using it. But I want to say that Matica is only providing this, and in order to use, let's say, either Matica or Moonly holder verification bot, the user need to come to the website and connect the wallet and connect the Discord, right? So if the project I saw this opportunity, since we have something to offer to people that come to our website, so they will not just come there to connect their Discord and wallet and never come back to Matica or Moon again. Well, they have a reason now to come back because they can track a coming project, they can track statistics, they have alerts, they have other tools like Feed and even now staking, right? So I think it's a very good piece of puzzle out there for Moonly because we have all the things we needed out there. Only we just need to actually capture the share of the users out there. So it's going to be tough competing with Matica, but I think if we capture, to be honest, just a couple of solid projects that basically cover most of the users in NFT Solana currently trader space, well, that's going to be it. All of those users will register once on the Moonly, and wherever they use whatever project in the future use a holder verification bot, they will be automatically getting their roles without needing to do anything else. So additional thing is that we try to socialize, create a kind of social aspect on the Moonly. I don't mean creating another social network like Twitter, but actually to create some kind of gamification, to create a profiles for people where people can see their profiles, and so they can see their portfolio, some numbers, some history, what they're holding. So you can not just watching your own, but you can see, I don't know, what Kai is holding, what Little Feather. And of course, people will be able to choose if they want to be publicly shared that this is Kai behind this wallet or it's incognito. So I think this is kind of, to me, very interesting, because it can stimulate people actually to share their profiles, because again, it's going to be a lot of stuff in one place. Imagine you have a profile, your wallet is connected, your Twitter is connected, your Discord. Still, everyone is kind of incognito, even on the Twitter, even the Discord. No one know your name or address. Still incognito. But for people who don't have anything to hide around that, well, that can create a really good social asset, especially when we do gamification with badges, that we say, all right, because we have this very big portfolio database that we are still working on, because to be honest, it's way beyond what we thought. We found so many scaling issues out there, but this is a really, really great learning experience for the Moonly and for any other project we do in the future. This brings us a lot of experience. Really level up, couple levels up with this portfolio tracking feature. What we can use this, since we have this database of almost 1 billion transactions, and who sold what, who is doing what with those NFTs, we can then do some segmentation, segment those data, and create kind of badges and kind of gamification. I'm not sure. I mean, I do not play games for a long time, but I played in the past, Call of Duty, all this stuff where you get badges when you, I don't know, either do so many things in the game, whatever. But for example, imagine gamification that we can say, all right, Kai have a paper hand badge, and he have a level 3 paper hand badge.
I'd be the last person to have a paper hand. I've held so many NFTs to zero. It's a joke.
It's a joke, definitely. Sorry, man. I mean, look, I'm the same guy. I think, I'm not sure how to call. I'm not a degen. How you call this? Maybe diamond degens hands or something like that. I hold everything to zero, literally. So I got that literally, So basically, but imagine, having this badge, all right, because I had idea. I mean, this is something just in the brainstorming. We're gonna build this in the future, definitely. Imagine now that you need to unlock all of the badges in order to unlock something on our website, some special thing. So, for example, well, either okay, you say you're not a paper hander. Okay, but you need to be also the paper hand. You need to unlock this badge. And maybe you need to be level 3 paper hand that will require to paper hand either X amount of NFTs or X amount of NFTs on X amount of collection to get level 3 paper hand. And level 3, maybe you need to be level 5 diamond hand. You need to be level 2 a whale. You need to be level, I'm not sure, I cannot recall right now what all the badges we wanted to have there. Profit maker, and so on and so on. So sweeper, there's a floor sweeper badge, because we can see who is doing what with all this transaction when we analyze this, right? We can see who is doing what, and basically that's going to be some very interesting part of the Moonly. And I'm not sure if you can connect the dots, as I see it's kind of hard to explain all of this through the audio. If I could share a kind of visually, it will be 60,000 times faster to process the information than just through the audio. But
I got the basic idea of it. Essentially, you're basically gamifying certain aspects of the NFT world. So if you're a diamond hander, you get certain badges. If you paper hand, you get certain badges. If you're a whale, if you're a sweeper. But I know people would like it. People would really enjoy this, to be perfectly honest. They will get to see certain accomplishments that they'll end up attaining through their journey in the Web3. So it becomes a little bit more tangible, something that they can actually see.
Yes, and exactly. So they can see it, so they can share, actually. So they can flex it out on the Twitter. So imagine you create this social aspect, sharing social aspect, where you create a very cool animation where they can actually share this on Twitter. It's kind of in some short auto-generated dynamically content in that video, and it can create a lot of good stuff out there. I mean, this is some alpha, not just for our holders, but basically for other projects who may be listening to this and want to implement this. But we're gonna do it anyway, and that is why that is one also of the reason I think I didn't share to the holders, to our holders, our you kind of know this diagram for Moonly ecosystem, right? Remember the one?
Yeah, of course I know.
Yes. And I think if people saw this, they will basically understand in what direction we're going. It's, it takes some time actually to build all this stuff, but we actually build a lot of part of this. So we're now just connecting and utilizing the features and connecting with each other. What is also will be good in that manner is basically imagine that other projects will be able to use such a gamification system for their community, for their project. So they set up rules. Hey, you need to be level 2 paper hand. You need to be, okay, the project don't want to be, the project doesn't like paper hand, but you need to be a floor sweeper. You need to be a whale. You need to be this and that. Or maybe even a little bit of paper hand for fun, If it's healthy project, they're going to survive. But imagine, they kind of use this again, this system, in order to give something in return to the people who ever achieve this badge or that level badge. Either it's again some reward system or content or whatever. It's a special prize that the community offers. So this is one of the reasons. I think there's definitely more reason, but my brain is full of stuff that I want to share, so I think it cannot come to the right place at this time. About holder verification, about why we kind of build it. There's definitely a few more reasons, because I, to be honest, most of the time through the last 15 years, I always like it to build a custom solution. Of course, we use it so many existing solutions when you don't want to reinvent wheel and when you don't have a time or resources to do. But since this was very obvious to us, why not building? Because the matrix is a not very complex thing to build if you're already into diving into this space like we did. So we figured out, okay, this is something we want to build, because if you remember, whoever was there from the meeting, our roadmap is actually Discord tools. We didn't even know exactly what we're going to build exactly that moment, but we know that there is a lot of space for Discord bots and tools for a project that we want to build and for holders. So here we are building this, and we're going to connect all of these dots. And when we package all of these, when we get one solid project that's use our whole package, it's going to be really beneficial for them and for us.
I just wanted to add one thing regarding staking as a service and holder verification bot on how holders can help us grow, which will benefit them as well. We had an idea about affiliate program. Still brainstorming it. It's not final. It's an idea. But anyone who brings us a project and we make an agreement with that project regarding staking or holder verification bot, and everything goes as it should, they buy Moonly NFTs, they stake them, and they become our official clients. Then he will receive some SOL as a reward. It can be 5, 10, 15 Solanas, depending on the strength of the project that he connected us with. That way you can help Moonly grow, which benefits you as a holder as well, because it will affect the floor price, plus you get a reward. We maybe reached a few projects, but we are just warming up with growth, marketing, and spreading the word. When we get a few clients, then I think we will have the snowball effect, and everything will have a better flow. There will be more eyes on Moonly, and I think that the line for our tools will be bigger and bigger. We just need to break through this initial barrier. And when Stefan writes the first version of PDF or video that will be our pitch deck on presentation, we will reach so many projects and turn them in potential customers.
Yeah, the good addition. Definitely, I forgot to mention that. Basically, imagine now we have a couple of people that is super mods, Corsica, Little Feather, Kai, even me included, and Sexy and other guys going there, reaching potential projects to become our potential clients. So, but imagine that you have army of 100 outreachers out there, or who knows many. How actually, well, give them some benefits, like Little Feather mentioned, give them a reward. So you bring a project to use our service, they buy our NFTs, they stake it, and they start using your service. You get a reward. Either it's a couple of soul, 5, 10, depending, like I said, depending on the size of the project and the series of the project and the state. I think that's a kind of very good motivation, and actually that's a kind of very basic affiliate marketing in the Web2 world. That's how many big companies operate. So that's gonna be, when we have all of this, there's a lot of stuff to be done around that, but that's gonna be really good when we start doing this.
There's a lot of things that we could look forward to. Sorry, I had a little bit of technical issues there. I think Elon rugged me again, but I'm back.
All right, Elon, I'm gonna chat with him again.
You got to send him some more money, Stefan. You got to send him some more money.
I'll think about this. I need to think about this.
Okay, well, just want to quickly go back to the human. I keep saying human. I need to close my tabs. I really do. Holder verification.
Human. Yes.
System.
Yes.
I need to close my tabs. I've got multiple tabs with the letter H open. So just going back to the holder verification bot system, just really quickly, one last question. I know that you don't like talking about things until they're set in stone, but I wanted to ask if you've got any potential projects. I don't want names. Any potential projects that are interested in using the Moonly HVB over using Matrica at the moment lined up?
Yes, we have. To be honest, we're the only project that we're using. Since we were busy launching a staking for Kaimana because we had a deadline, I put holder verification bot at the side. Another important thing which happened, that the guy who worked with us for, I don't know, almost a year, he needed urgently to leave us. So basically, and he was working on the holder verification bot, and he left us basically in a very tough moment when we wanted to launch the holder verification bot in the production for other projects and the staking as well. So, but since we got the 2 new guys, one of them actually he dived for last couple of weeks. He dived into the code, so we basically did some improvement on the holder verification bot. We added some new functionality. It's not in the production, but the functionality is basically right now we can give a role based only on our collection on our Discord. But imagine that we can say, hey, if someone hold OK Bears, for example, give him a role OK Bears. So we know that on our server there are people who are holding OK Bears or whatever, the gods or any kind of project. So this is going to be very good addition, very flexible. I see this is as a really good addition for upcoming projects. I'm not sure if you remember those days when the project for creating channels for each of project, and then you need to screenshot that you're holder of that you're a member and holder of that community.
Remember, I still do that. I still do that, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. So people still use that way. Okay.
All right. It's still old school, man. It's still old school.
Old school. Yeah. So that's kind of little bit primitive way, actually. But yeah, it's work. You need to do a lot of manual work. So imagine that you actually use our tool, actually, our holder verification bot, and say, hey, whoever hold any number of you, or you can specify if you hold 5 the gods, okay, or whatever the project is. I use the gods because it's much easier to say. But OK Bears, for example, okay, give him this role, and you know that this guy cannot fake a screenshot. You don't need to manually check if you don't need to use a Photoshop forensic website to see did he fake it or or not. So basically, it's gonna tell you, hey, this guy is a holder of OK Beers, I don't know, Famous Fox, whatever project it is. So and to answer your question, is there any? Yes. So basically, we wanted to use Kaimana. The Kaimana should use this first. But as I told you, that guy left us out there. I didn't want to risk out there with other guys, so that no one can actually support without having someone from the developers that who actually dive into code and understand how it's working. So I just delayed this. There was also two more guys. One was reaching us on a ticket. I remember they wanted to create some sub DAO. And yeah, there's also one more project that also reached us recently. They want to basically cancel their Matica kind of subscription, and they was kind of interested in what we are offering. So to be honest, I didn't respond to this guy for a couple of days because I was busy with other stuff. I need to see what is going on with him, but definitely there will be more and more, especially when we simplify the benefits in very easily to consume way. Either it's in the short PDF or either a small bullet points or even the video. Video is the most easier to consume, right? So when we have something to just send like this, boom, to the project, and they say, okay, I get the whole verification bot and this and staking and that and this and this and sniper bot and those for my holders for the same cost or for less the cost that I will get the Matica only or this, well, people will then figure out, okay, why not then use the Moonly, right? Especially if one solid project, as I mentioned many times, use our service, well, they're gonna basically build us trust out there and confidence for other projects to start using our service.
Yeah, so it's only a matter of time, essentially.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So a little further, have you got anything to add to anything we've been talking about so far?
I do not. Stefan said it all.
No worries, no worries. Just got a couple more small questions. They should be fairly quick fire questions towards the end because we're getting towards the end of the space. So we've got,
Right.
obviously we know there's going to be loads of tools that are going to be released, but one of the ones that most people were quite looking forward to, I know I'm looking forward to it because it integrates with the live sales tool, is going to be the Sniper tool. Can you talk a little bit about that and what the timeline is?
The Sniper tool, I don't know exactly timeline because I put this at the side. I mean, there's 2 or 3 guys working right now on the Soul Sniper tool, or actually the Sniper bot. Since I was fully focused mostly on the staking, I didn't put my own attention because everything I had to say was already explained and documented to the team. So they're doing their own work. The Sniper bot actually should be released in the past, actually 2 weeks ago. That's why I do not give concrete dates and deadlines because it puts pressure, unnecessary pressure on the whole thing, especially that this is the things, all of these things is you need to be aware, guys, that all of these things, especially regarding the blockchain, is new to us. So we were Web 2 guys, developers out there. So now we dived into the new C, which is a Solana, which is a blockchain, smart contracts, Rust development, all this stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that we learned along the way, a lot of stuff. So regarding the Soul Sniper, I don't know. Maybe in the next week to 2, we actually have it working, but not in production, definitely. So I saw the videos, I saw the sneak peeks from the team. To be honest, I didn't put any attention on the Sniper, my own attention in the last couple of weeks because the staking was more important actually to release, in my own opinion. There is a Sniper tools out there, right? People know about them, but this is gonna just be another addition that Moonly will have. So this and this and that once again, right? So I cannot give you a concrete deadline, but it should be there in a week or 2, maybe even more. I just don't want to put my word on there. It's gonna create unnecessary pressure. I don't want to create wrong expectation.
I wasn't asking for a deadline anyway. I didn't want you to give me a concrete date on when it would be completed by. I just wanted to get an idea for everyone that's listening on what the timeline is and what it's looking like and where the current state of it is. That's basically it.
I even 2 weeks ago we had the working version. So basically we had the working, but it was kind of built as a separated code base. What the people are doing right now, what the devs are doing right now, they're integrating the sniper inside of the Moonly code base. And since we had a 4 days break, 4 or 5 days break, whole team actually I gave the whole team the 4 or 5 days break. The things got bit delayed, especially that we released the staking. We had some issues, then we were kind of uh, fixing it and so on. So yeah, it's gonna be there definitely.
Very nice. And speaking of upcoming tools, there's probably only one more that I would like to talk about. It's only been alluded to once that I can see, but I'm wondering if I can actually talk about it. Should I send you a quick message in the private chat so I
Yeah,
don't get in
sure.
trouble?
Yeah, sure. Let me see what.
Bear with me, guys. Is the and it's in the chat now, so you should be able to see it. See if I can ask a question about that.
Yeah, sure. It's
So should we let them? Should we let them know about it? It's just a small amount of alpha, I guess, because it's not been talked about. I don't think I've seen this anywhere. So
So are you asking about
yeah, if it's
daily
going to be
mint?
released.
So
Yep.
you're asking about daily mint bot. You mean on the Discord bot that will basically notify you about the coming mints, so
Yep.
daily mints. Is that what you're asking, right?
Correct. That is what I'm asking.
All right. So this is a very small tool, and I think that's already in the world. Let me just see. If I type, do we have bot over here? Let me just see. Just a second while I'm here. I'm gonna type on the channel. Let me see if this working, if this still work, because we built this months ago, but since it was not a priority, we had kind of more important things to release, we put it at the side. As you can see, if someone is in the chat right now, you can type the command /daily daily means you're gonna see a Moonly bot logo out there, and basically it's gonna uh, share automatically. A bot will share the list of today's mints. This is a very raw right now, and even the format that you see with all of these links, I need to figure it out. What is the compatibility of the Discord embed out there? A way to display the information, because it will be nice that in one message we can display even some more information about the project, right? Maybe even the tiny logo, the supply, the mint price, and so on. But I think that we talked about this before. I think on the Discord when we had this. Um, Again, there is so many things that I'm excited to build, and I'm in the real sense builder, not just because this is a buzzword in the Solana space. I'm building for last 15 years, and that was always exciting to build something, to build. Even not making any money, I was always exciting to build something and see people using. So what I think that what is missing on the Moonly, one really cool thing is ability for people to vote on the projects, vote on upcoming projects, leave the reviews even on the minted project, and basically through the community votes, we will be able to see, all right, what is actually here, not just through the community votes, but through the to the stats that we provide. Let's say social stats, then we have alpha stats out there, right? So that way we'll be able to sort this today list of mint project by some sort of value, right? Because there's all kind of mints today, right? But we all know that the most of the mints are shitty, right? There is, right? So
Yeah,
we
everyone
just
knows
need
that
that.
most of the mints are just money grabs most of the time. We all know this.
Yeah. So basically, as you can see, we have this tool, very simple tool already built in. It's sitting out there. We didn't even talk about. We didn't even announce it anywhere. But this is something we're gonna work and expand even more. So more kind of inside of the Discord, we're gonna have more tools, even automated tools that can uh, be the purpose, to alert you when either the supply or floor price goes up and down at X% and so on. So we can automate all this stuff and basically get some important notification out there. We're also working with with some market analysis guys out there. So we basically gonna have market analysis built inside the Moonly through the push-up notification. So we're gonna basically push a little bit the aspect of push notifications out there. So because that's a really good way to communicate with users. Imagine you have 3,000 or 5,000 people subscribing to push notification, and you can blast some important message. Either, for example, because the Discord, let's be real, the Discord is too much noise, right? So many people get so many notifications, so many Discord. Since our project is 1 year old, imagine where our project Discord icon is in the people's list. It's at the bottom somewhere. Okay, maybe someone move it at the top, depending how people managing their Discord service. I have folders, minting important tools and so on, but still, you don't have enough reach. Even we have, let's say, I don't know, 10, 60,000 members in the Discord. We don't have reach that we had before because so many other projects launched in Discord are on the top of us, and people cannot even see our notifications. So unfortunately, I realized this very late. I mean, I knew that we should do this, but through the amount of the work that we were doing, we had, I think, in this point, even 700,000 visitors, almost a million people, let's say, but 700,000 visitors on the Moonly in the last year and something like around 1 year. So imagine that we converted 10% into the subscribers. That is 70,000 subscribers. Let it be even half of that, 5%, and that is very target audience. So 5% is a very good conversion rate for the target audience. People searching for NFTs for specific project. We give them information, we give them data. It's a very high chance for people to subscribe to get a newsletter regarding the NFT world, right? So if we had even that kind of thing that we did, and we even had a box that we just didn't put, we didn't connect it to like a day of work. Basically, we had a lot of subscribers there and a lot of kind of exposure. Whenever we want to kind of announce something big, let's say staking as a service, a lot of people will be able to see this, even they're not in our Discord. So now it's the same thing with push notification. So that's, we kind of also, there's a lot of things that we're building under the hood that basically people doesn't even know. We don't announce it. This is kind of small tools that help either the Little Feather and the crew and virtual assistants, Tamara and the other people to have a better workflow on the Moonly and admins on the Moonly. But basically, we are kind of building this kind of, as I mentioned, push notification. We have the push notification, automated push notification, but now we will be able to broadcast the message. Let's say, hey guys, we have a Twitter Spaces, don't miss this out. And boom, you get instantly this on your mobile phone. It's a notification. You cannot miss it. You don't have excuse that if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe from the notification and so on. So this is something we're gonna focus. One also important thing that I mentioned, I know that we are kind of speaking for almost an hour and a half, but there's a lot of things to say. But we are kind of standing very solid in the SEO in the Google. When people search anything, we are kind of in the top 3-4 results out there. This is where a lot of our traffic coming from. For example, I spoke with co-founder of what is the project name? I think Rain 5. Let me see, Rain.finance. The FI. It's I'm not sure if you're aware of that. It's basically lending and borrowing protocol. Very cool stuff. I think they're gonna win over the long run. On the long run, through those projects. I think Sharkify and other projects are in this space. Very nice flow, user experience. I think they're gonna do very, very well. But anyway, I spoke with the co-founder. I think last week or something. And when, of course, she actually, it was a girl, She know that I'm the founder of Moonly, and she said, "Hey guys, you're doing very good SEO. Like whatever I type in the Google, Moonly is there." And when you hear that, it's beautiful, because people you don't know, people that they don't know, you and me, they know Moonly. So it's happened also many times over the Twitter when I connect and say, "Oh, Moonly, I know Moonly." Of course they know, because sooner or later, or even 2 months ago, they searched something, some information, the Moonly was appearing out there, and they know the Moonly. That, it's that kind of name is easy to remember, even the whole brand. So I spoke a lot of things. Like, yeah. So one of the things I want to mention, two more things at least. One of the things is actually that we're gonna revamp the whole website, because we added so many features very quickly without even proper planning when it comes to the UI and user experience. And this is kind of happening when you do a rapid development. So our plan is actually to reorganize the whole website, revamp it, and then not just that, but actually not just kind of UI, the look of the website, but the whole front end and the back end. It will become much faster for the user, but also for the search engines. So currently, even we are ranking very well. Our scores that Google provide us are not very good out there. They tell us that we can improve. We know what we need to improve. We just don't have bandwidth right now, because we are working all of these important tools. So this is also what kind of I'm excited to do, because when we do this, not just it's going to improve the user experience overall, it's gonna improve the ranking into the search engines, which is gonna bring much more traffic. So it can actually have potential to bring us 2 times, 3 times, or even 5 times more traffic when we do these changes. So this is what I'm excited. I also want to share that on April 20, that was a kind of marijuana world day, right? There was a very good Twitter Spaces out there, hosted by Stoned Ape crew, and inside there was, I don't know, I think 800 people, 400, 800 people, something like that, listening to these Spaces. And one of the biggest names out there was speaking, like founder of Tom, I think it's Tom from the Tyro Robotics, founders of Geckos, very good project. Solana Legend, the most influential and real influencer in the Solana ecosystem. I guess everyone knows the Solana Legend guy. DG, and many other people. I don't know, so many big names out there speaking, and there's a lot of other big names that even not being a speaker. I had this opportunity actually to be the speaker there as well. So basically, it was really nice feeling to sit there among those guys. Those are kind of big names, big guys, even with the numbers of the followers, but actually the things they're doing, their projects are very successful, and communities are big. So I had really good conversation with those guys. It changes some value out there. I also learned some really good thing about the staking, how we can actually market our staking as another benefit. We were talking about, they were actually talking about that people who staked their NFTs in non-custodial contract, it's something like that we have. Basically, it means that NFT not leaving your wallet, but it's kind of locked in there. Those NFTs and those wallets that was kind of draining, because there was a people who were draining their wallets. The one who was actually staking their NFTs, they was not draining. So this is one of the benefits actually to stake. If you didn't know, I'm gonna announce this as a separate announcement, like a small announcement, so people actually have more reason to stake. If you are the guy who are connecting your cold wallet or whatever, or either it's a hot wallet to many websites, which is a kind of potential risk. Staking your NFTs basically prevents the wallet drainers and the scammers to actually take your NFT and steal, because they're locked into smart contract and no one actually cannot do anything unless the contract is satisfied.
That's a
So
cool little
I-
benefit that no one really talks about. Actually, there's a very cool little side benefit of staking, because it kind of takes the ability of criminals, people that want to take your stuff away from you, to essentially they just can't do anything to those NFTs because they don't belong on that wallet. Well, they are in that wallet, but they belong on the staking site, so they're locked, so they can't go anywhere. It's a pretty
Yeah,
cool
they
little
belong-
side feature.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I could speak, guys. I can speak, I think, for at least a day or two, but it doesn't have a sense. We can talk another time. So if you have more question, Kai, or whatever, feel
I've got
free
one
to.
more. I've only got one more, and it's the question I ask every Spaces. I ask everyone this question. Have you got any alpha for us? Anything that you'd like to say? Anything that you'd want to tell us that we don't already know?
All right, so there is, and as you can see, I'm delaying all of these, a lot of things until kind of full ready. You know me, kind of, and you're operating that way, Kai, as well. When you write some document, you don't want to share until it's 93% ready, right?
Exactly. That's how I operate.
Yeah, so it kind of same here, but sometimes you need actually to put yourself into fire actually and do with what you have so far. I'm not gonna go into details, but I want whoever is listening this or whoever listen, but we're gonna announce this when the times come in a very near future, that we gonna do another collection for a project that is a real life business that is operate outside of the NFT or Solana ecosystem. It's a real company, and instead of raising the funds from the venture capitals and sell your, shares to some people out there who are there just for profit, we gonna use NFT as a tool, as a crowdfunding tool to fund the project and actually run a real business out there that already generates, that already exists. That business is out there before someone of you know, especially the one who was reading our white paper out there. Some of this project exists for a couple of years. This project generates some revenue. It's put it aside because of the Moonly for a year and a half. It kind of generated over $100,000 so far, and still generating a couple $1,000 per month, but not touching it basically out there. It have a huge potential, huge. This guy actually that have a huge potential is right there with us right now, listening to us. I'm not gonna say who is it, but anyway, this is something that we're gonna do since we have very warmed up team with Moonly for last year and a half in this space. I think this gonna be a very great way of for different reasons. One of the way is one of the thing is we're gonna use the Moonly tools, and you know that every hyped project out there that is about to mean the community is very active. For example, even the Mad Lads or whatever the project is, all of this. So imagine that we're gonna use our tools as a holder verification, the staking, all this stuff, and that's gonna be just another promotion layer for the Moonly itself. So I actually lost myself. I want to say something else, but I forgot what to say because so many things in my head is messing up.
No problem. I think you've given him enough, Stefan. I think you've given him quite a bit today.
Yes, I think I given even more than that. But I sometimes I cannot stop speaking. But look at this. I think you or someone else I just saw this message on our Supermod channel. You shared some project actually out there that they're minted, and they minted for real life business, right? And I like this idea so much that I cannot express, especially that project. If what I saw just from the screenshot of the Moonly statistic that you shared out there, let me just open if I can do it right now. this project, I think, didn't even require so much funding. So it was a very little supply. I think
Yeah, the supply was quite low. I think it was about 700 in terms of total supply.
Okay,
probably.
so 700, and the mean price is 4.
Yep. And there's only 8 of them listed right now, which is quite substantial.
Exactly. I mean, it's a kind of 1% only listed. So only 1% is listed. So this project, you said, they're generating vending machines, they're creating vending machines, they're putting on some spots, and they're generating the revenue, and they're putting the revenue back into the holders. It's exactly the idea that we want to do with this new project that I'm going to speak about the details next time when the times come. But this is something I think the real sense of NFT, to be honest. I mean, people are, that is always through the history. People abuse the things until it got crystallized, when we actually see the real purpose of something. So I think I always wanted, personally, I always wanted to do crowdfunding through the Kickstarter or Indiegogo platforms, all this stuff. It required kind of also a lot of preparation, paper stuff. But I think Web3, especially NFT, have a special meaning there, because the people, not just who will get the T-shirt, let's say, but they get that kind of token. With that token, they can prove they're actually the holders, so they're actually the owners of or how I call owner of the project. And I see it as a real kind of value. Yeah, the thing I wanted to add up out there is, since we are kind of very warmed up team right now with Moonly, 15 people currently working at Moonly, actually even more than 15 people, not counting the people who are doing the community aspect, super modes, and so on. So more than 15 people actually work currently on the Moonly. So especially the devs are very warmed up, in the very good shape right now. I think it's a very good moment actually to extend the team and build another business which is kind of sustainable, because the Moonly currently is not sustainable business. It doesn't generate any profit. Every month we are burning the money from the mint out there. So I think it's very important for business to be sustainable. And I think the new project that we're gonna launch is gonna give us that sustainability, and it's gonna be the sister or complementary project of the Moonly. Actually, that project is actually not even the sister. I think that project is even the father of the Moonly. Even the people knew the Moonly before, but they didn't meet the father. So basically we used that project, we used that tool to build original version of Moonly. So I'm gonna speak about this in details. This is almost 2 hours spaces. I apologize if I spoke too much,
I
but
think that's enough alpha for them, Stefan.
Yeah,
I think they've gotten enough. I think the listeners have been rewarded. I do believe that is quite a lot of information for them to take on board. Quite frankly, that is quite bad. I didn't expect you to actually promote that today, but I'm sure the listeners are very appreciative.
You were persistent. You asking me every time this, right?
I had to get a little. I had to give him a little bit, Stefan. You got to understand. I got to give him a little bit.
All right. I wish the more people would listening. But anyway, we're gonna share the recording. I think hopefully the video is successful. So I'm gonna share it. I think as a YouTube as well for people who wanna listen through the YouTube. We'll see if that work. But yeah, definitely. Yeah, more information that do not make any conclusions other than this is going to be some real usage of NFT building a real company in Web2, which means that we could bring a lot of Web2 people into the space, because they will find a real utility out of the NFTs out there. Anyway.
Thank you very much for that. A little further, have you got any last things to say before we wrap it up?
I do not really.
No worries.
Stefan said it all. He can speak for hours, and I can just listen and enjoy, and I have nothing to add. It would be too much.
Yeah, he knows that. He knows that. Like, we have a sessions where we sit here, drink some, have some drink or something, and we brainstorm for hours basically.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's do not keep it any longer. Sorry for keeping you so much, but in order to express some ideas, I actually needed to speak in the details so you can guys understand what I'm saying and what is our vision, what is our kind of current status of the Moonly. Even what you see so far, it's just a temporarily, even like from the staking point and the reward. Since we do multiple things at the same time, it's sometimes hard to balance it everything. I didn't forget on the giveaways for you guys and so on. So definitely will be one giveaway soon. Let's talk. Let's wrap this out. Kai, thank you for host. Thank
Yep.
you for
No
these great
problem.
questions. I
I
always
always enjoy
enjoy.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I always enjoy you because you're the one who asks the real questions. So I appreciate that. Doing the research and everything, asking and listening. So thank you, brother, for that. Thank
That's
you,
not a
Little
problem at
Feather, as
all. It's my
well
pleasure.
for joining. All right.
And
Um,
thank you guys, everyone who tuned in, all the guys, even the people that left. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you got a little bit of information out of this. There was a lot to talk about, there's a lot to digest, and obviously there's a lot that wasn't said. So just
yeah.
be aware there's a lot going on. There is a lot going on.
All right, so I wanna send the personal thanks and hello to Potato Kid who is here listening. Also to Fede, Uru, Nida, Željko is here. I see the Željko all the time on Twitter Spaces. I don't know who is him on the Discord, if he's all at the Discord at all. I see the guy age 1K. I see that he's a project founder of some project out there. So dropouts project. So if you need anything from us, you can feel free to reach me. Saxy, Tamara, thank you. Xam, our alpha hunter, he's there loyal with us for a long time. Yelena, my wife, my lovely wife, and Automatio.